We have already explored almost all pricing calculation capabilities offered by the Ventum Print platform. In the main tab, there are two final sections remaining: components and product variants. Let's begin with components. In all previous examples, we considered the product as a single whole. For instance, a flyer is simply a sheet of paper. However, in printing, more complex products composed of several parts are often encountered. For example, a box and a lid, a set consisting of a notebook and a pen, a book composed of a cover and an internal block of pages. The prices for manufacturing a notebook and a pen are calculated differently. The notebook depending on the number of pages, and the pen based on material, plastic or metal. When calculating the cost of such products, we face difficulties. The components are calculated differently, and it is hard to apply the same additional options to them. For example, in a book, there may be a different number of pages in the block, and the cover may have different finishes, cloth-bound or a photo cover with lamination. If we create a lamination option using the standard method, it will by default be applied to the entire product. But what if we need to apply lamination only to the cover and set the number of pages for the internal block? For such tasks, Ventum Print provides the component functionality, constituent parts of the product, each of which can be configured separately. Let's enable component breakdown for the product. A new component appears. Let's open it and name it Cover. For now, we will not enable quantity selection and will specify the price per component unit as €1. We will not specify the weight for now, but it is important to remember that a component can affect the total weight of the product. Save. Now let's create a second component, Pages. Here, we will enable quantity selection by the user and specify, for example, from 24 to 400 pages with a step of 8. Enable manually enter a value. Enter a name for the quantity, number of pages. What is the price per component unit? When we change the quantity in the main product, the quantity of the entire product changes, but changing the quantity of this component affects the number of pages, not the quantity of the entire product. Specify the component unit price as 10 euro cents. As you can see, you can also enable quantity-based price dependency here and set coefficients, just like in the main product settings. Save. Go back to the product settings and name it Book. Set the unit price to €0. This way, the final price of the book will be formed solely based on the components and their prices. Let's check it on the website. 10 books cost €0 as expected. We created a cover component that adds €1 to the product price. Let's enable this component and check on the website. The price for 10 books is now €10, €1 per unit. This price is formed solely by the cover component price. Now enable the Pages component, where we specified the unit price of 10 euro cents. That is, the minimum value of 24 pages multiplied by 10 euro cents results in a page block cost of €2.40. To this, €1 for the cover will be added. So a book consisting of 24 pages will cost €3.40. Let's check the accuracy of the calculation on the website. The number of pages option has appeared. Set the number of pages to 24. The price of one book is €3.40. Increase the number of pages to 200. 200 pages at 20 cents equals €20. Plus €1 for the cover, the printing price of one book is €21. Let's go back to the settings and review how to apply separate options to a component. As we know, options can currently be applied to the whole product. For example, let's enable the printing type option. Check on the website. On the product page, the print run is displayed and a printing type is displayed with its two elements, digital and offset printing, which are applied to the entire product, to the book as a whole. Now let's create the option Cover Lamination, which will apply only to the cover component. Go to the Component Settings, to the Options section. Click Add option. Enter the name, for example, Cover Lamination. Enable Selection Required. Instead of the quantity coefficient, select Cover. This means that the created option will be linked not to the quantity of the entire product, but only to the quantity of the cover component. Let's save and add elements. First element, No, with the price of 0. Save settings. Create the second element, Yes. This element adds €1 to the cost. Enter 1 in the price field. Save. Enable the option and check on the website. Now the calculator is essentially divided into 3 parts. The first part is the calculation of the entire product, print run and printing type. The second part is the cover with the cover lamination option. The third part is the page quantity slider for the pages component. For the pages component, you can also set separate options, just as we did for the cover component. The result, the product price, consists of the sum of all 3 parts of the calculator. Print run and printing type do not add any markup. The price in this section is 0. In the calculator section, Cover, only the specified price for the cover works, €1 per unit. In the third section, 24 pages are selected. 10 cents multiplied by 24 equals €2.40. The total product price is €3.40. Let's apply the cover lamination option Yes. The price of the book becomes €4.40. Thus, the final product price is formed from the product's base price, the price of the first component, cover, and the price of the second component, pages. You can create any number of components. Of course, options applied to the entire product can also participate in the price calculation. For example, let's set the digital printing element price to €1 per unit. Save and check on the website. Select a print run of 10, printing type offset, no markup, lamination no, its price is 0, only the cost of the cover is added, €1 per unit, €10 for the print run. Number of pages 24 at 10 cents per page. The final print run price is €34 or €3.40 per book. Now select digital printing, which adds €1 to each book, applied to the entire product. Final price is €4.40 per book. Components are important not only for calculating the product price. Later, we will examine the Applications section. It is designed for receiving user layouts or creating them in the browser. It has integration with components. For example, in a photo book constructor, the number of pages, quantity of the pages component, is one of the main parameters allowing the application to understand how many pages the user wants and is able to create in the product. Also, if you use such a capability of the Ventumprint platform as ERP system, then product components allow significantly more effective production management during the production phases. You can not only sequentially set the product to go through different production phases, printing, cutting, packaging, but also assign individual production plans for each product component. For example, the cover is printed on digital printing machine and laminated separately. Meanwhile, the internal block of pages is printed on another roll-fed offset printing machine. Such flexibility is made possible precisely by dividing the product into separate components, each of which moves along its own individual path in the production process.